Now coming to the next adjustment, which are related to provision for discount on debtors. We have already discussed the provision for bad and doubtful debts. Now the next is we have to know about how to do the treatment of provision for discount on debtors if it is given in the adjustment. See one example. I have written one example over here, one illustrations. This is the trial balance. Inside the trial balance, this trial balance is prepared on as at 31st March 2020. Trial balance is prepared on this date, 31st March 2020. This is debit and credit. In trial balance, debtors is 40,000 debtors, bad debts is 500. Provision for bad and doubtful debts, if it is given inside the trial balance, it means it's a old provision, it is 1000. Discount allowed is 700. Provision for discount on debtors is 300. These are the information given inside the trial balance related to debtors. Now see in the adjustment related to these items, further bad debts means additional bad debts is 800. That is the additional bad debts. New provision for bad and doubtful debts at the rate of 5%. This is the new provision. Provision for bad and doubtful debts, if it is given in the adjustment, it means it's a new provision. Okay? It's a new provision. Understood? Well understood. If it is given in adjustment, this information, it means it's a new provision. Provision for discount on debtors at the rate of 2%. This is also a new provision because one provision is given here. The provision for discount on debtors which is given inside the trial balance, that provision is old provision. This is old provision, and the provision for discount on debtors which is given in the adjustment, it means it's a new provision for discount on debtors. Now how we'll do the treatment while preparing the financial statement? You know the bad debts is a loss, so you write the bad debts in the debit side of the trial balance, debit side of profit and loss account to bad debts. Bad debts, you write it in the inner column. This is the detail column for detail, and final amount we will write in the outer column. This is for the final amount. This is also for detail and this is for final amount. So bad debts given in the trial balance is 500. You write it over here. Add further bad debts. Add what? Further bad debts means additional bad debts you add it. Further bad debts. You see further bad debts is how much? Further bad debts given in the adjustment is 800. So this is the bad debts in addition to this bad debts. In addition to this is the additional bad debts. So 500 bad debts given in the trial balance, and this bad debts, further bad debts given in the adjustment. You do the addition. Then you add new provision for bad and doubtful debts. I have written in short bad and doubtful debts. Okay, I am going to write in full. New provision for bad and doubtful debts. Doubtful dates. Bad and doubtful dates. This is the new provision. Now we will calculate the new provision for bad and doubtful dates at the rate of 5%. So sundry debtors is how much? Sundry debtors, you do the calculation in the working note. Sundry debtors is 40,000. I am going to calculate. Okay, sundry debtors is how much? 40,000 is the sundry debtors. Now you deduct from it first further bad debts. That is the additional bad debts. Further bad debts. So further bad debts is how much? Further bad debts is 800. You deduct the further bad debts. After deduction, the amount is 39,200. Okay. Now we will calculate the new provision for bad and doubtful debts. New provision for bad and doubtful dates. Bad and doubtful dates. new provision for bad and doubtful dates at the rate of what? At the rate of new provision for bad and doubtful dates at the rate of 5%. So 5% on which amount? 5% of 39,200. 5% of this amount. After deduction of further bad dates, the on rest amount we will calculate the 5%. So 20 is cancelled. So 0 1960 1960. Okay, 1960. This is the new provision for bad and doubtful dates. After that, the rest amount is how much? After that, the rest amount is 37,240. 37,240 is the rest amount. So you add the new provision for bad and doubtful dates 1960. This one you add it 1960. So the total is 0, 6, 17 and 5. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 2, 3. 3,260. Okay, 3,260. Less you deducted, less old provision for bad and doubtful dates. Old provision for bad and doubtful dates. Bad and doubtful dates. Doubtful dates. Old provision for bad and doubtful dates is given where? This is given in the adjustment. Given in the trial balance. Inside the trial balance, that is 1,000. You deduct it. And after deduction, you write the final amount in the outer column 2,260. 2,260. Is it clear? So write the figure in the outer column after deduction of old provision for bad and doubtful dates. In the same way, we will do the treatment of discount allowed. Discount allowed, you write the discount allowed. Discount allowed is the indirect expenses. It's an indirect expenses. Discount allowed given in the trial balance is how much? It is given in the trial balance. Discount allowed is 700, which is given in the trial balance. This one. You add new provision for discount. You add the new provision for discount. You add the new provision for discount on debtors. New provision for discount on debtors is 2%. So we'll calculate the new provision for discount on debtors. So less new provision for discount on debtors. We'll calculate on which amount? We'll calculate on this amount 37,240, not on 40,000. Out of 40, 800 is further bad dates. In this amount, up to this amount, we have a doubt whether we will receive it or not. So discount will be calculated on the amount which will be realized. So 37,240 will be realized. So 2% of this amount. So 2%. Okay, 2% of this amount. So this will be 8,4,7. Decimal is here. So round of figure is 745. 745. 745 is the round of figure. You deduct it. So next rest amount is 594. Okay, 4, 6, 36,495. This is the net amount which will be realized from the debtors after discount allowed, after allowing discount. Okay. So here, so new provision for bad and doubtful, new provision for discount on debtors is 745. You add it, do the addition, 5, 4, 14, 700 plus this one, and deduct the old provision, deduct the old provision for discount, old provision for discount, old provision for discount, we will deduct it. So how much is the old provision for discount? This is 300. 300 we will deduct it, and the rest amount, net amount, we will write in the outer column, 5411, 1145. So discount allowed given over here. This is the old provision, we will deduct it, and new provision will be calculated on this amount. From debtor we will deduct the further bad debts, thereafter we will deduct the new provision for bad and doubtful debts, and thereafter from the rest amount we will calculate the provision for discount on debtors. So 745 is the round off figure at the rate of 2%. Okay, so this amount, you add this two figure and deduct 300 and write the amount in the outer column. Now come to the balance sheet. Thereafter we have completed, from profit and loss account is completed related to bad debts, discount allowed, provision for bad and doubtful debts, provision for discount on debtors. Now coming to the balance sheet asset side, we write the sundry debtors, this side sundry debtors. So how much amount we will write for sundry debtors? Already we have done the working notes, already we have done the calculation in the working notes. So we are not going to show the details in the balance sheet. We are not going to reflect the detail in the balance sheet once again. So directly we will write the net payable amount, net amount which is received from the debtors, that is 36,495. We have done the calculation over here, we have done all the calculation over here, and the final amount we will write it in the balance sheet, that is 36,495. Okay, you can write directly this amount because we have reflected all the calculation in the working note. Debtors less further bad debts, less new provision for bad and doubtful debts, less new provision for discount on debtors. Okay, after deduction the final figure will be reflected in the balance sheet asset side under the head sundry debtors. So this figure what we have reflected over here, what I have reflected over here, this figure will come from here, the working notes. From the working note, this is related to debtors, the final amount which will be realized from the debtors after further bad debts, after provision for doubtful debts, after provision for discount on debtors. So final figure we will receive from the debtors is this. So financial statement, the balance sheet reflect the true and fair view of the financial positions of the business. So is it clear? Now coming to the GST. In financial statement, we will discuss about the GST, goods and service tax. GST paid within the state is bifurcated into two: input CGST, CGST means central GST, and input SGST means state GST. So when the GST is paid at the time of purchase of goods or purchase of assets, that is bifurcated in input CGST, that is the central GST, and input SGST, that is the state GST. When it is within the state, transaction says purchase and sale is within the state. Now similarly GST collected within the state, if the purchase and sale is within the state, then this is output CGST, means output central GST, and output state GST. Okay. Now coming to this, GST paid is always adjusted with the GST collected. GST paid is adjusted with the GST collected, and the balance will be reflected in the balance sheet, and the balance amount will be shown in the balance sheet. It depends upon which side this will reflect, asset side or liability side. So case number 1, in case CGST, now coming to the CGST, input CGST means central GST, input central GST is adjusted with the output central GST. Input central GST will always be adjusted first with the output central GST. Now case number 1, if input CGST is more and output CGST is less, means you have paid more tax and you have collected less tax, okay, then on that case balance will be shown in the asset side as a prepaid. So if input CGST is more than output CGST, then the balance amount, suppose input CGST is 10,000 and output CGST is 8,000, so difference is 2,000. That difference will indicate in the balance sheet asset side as prepaid CGST. Okay. Case number 2, coming to the output CGST, if output CGST is more than input CGST, output CGST is more, it means you have collected more CGST, central GST, and you have paid less central CGST. So if output is more, means collection is more and payment is less, then the difference amount will be reflected in the liability side, and that will be deposited to the government treasury. So output CGST, if it is more than the input CGST, then the balance amount will be reflected in the liability side. In the same way, regarding the central SGST, input SGST, this is about the central GST. Now coming to the input SGST is adjusted with the output SGST. Inputs SGST, this one is adjusted with the output SGST. So if the input SGST means state GST, means you have paid more, input SGST in state, after bifurcation, if input SGST is more than output SGST, then the balance will be shown in the asset side. Input SGST is more than output SGST, then the balance will be reflected in the asset side. Vice versa, if output SGST, this will be more and this will be less, it means if output SGST is more than input SGST, then the balance will be shown in the liability side, and that will be deposited to the government treasury in next financial year. Is it clear? This is related to adjustment of GST. Okay, goods and service tax within the state, how this adjust with the GST adjusted. GST paid is always adjusted with the GST collected. So input SGST will be adjusted with the output CGST. Input CGST will be adjusted with the output CGST. In the same manner, input SGST will be adjusted with the output SGST. So that there may be the two situation. If input CGST is more and output CGST is less, then that will be the difference amount will be reflected in asset side, vice versa in the liability side. Similarly, if input SGST is more and output SGST is less, then asset side balance amount, vice versa in the liability side. Okay.